Right, so now I'm going to show you how to make your first foundation chain. So your first foundation chain, if you're doing anything that is flat, so something like a scarf where you have the first chain on top and then you work your stitches in rows like this, making a flat rectangular shape, this is what you're going to need. Some patterns will also call for a chain if you're doing something circular like this, where you make a straight chain and then you join it together to make it into a circle. Okay, so this is a really useful, really important first lesson. Now, before we can chain anything, we need to know how to hold our hook and our yarn. So there are two ways of holding the hook. One is the knife grip, which I prefer, which is like this, just like you're cutting something with a knife, like this. Some people prefer to use the pen hold, like you're writing with a pen. Okay, so you just need to find out which one works better for you. I like the knife hold, so I will be using this, and it's helpful to have this first finger on your index finger on the yarn, which can control whether it slides off or not. Okay, your left hand, this is a little bit more complicated, and there's two ways of doing it, but I'll show you the more correct way, and it's like this. So you lay the yarn that's attached to the ball over your little finger and then tuck your index finger behind it. Your thumb and third finger on your left hand should be holding this tail. If you don't hold the tail, it's impossible to crochet. There we go. So this is your hold. This is where you start from. And this little finger will control what the tension is. If it's very tight, the stitches will be very close together and very tight. If it's a bit looser like this, the stitches will be looser. Okay, so the foundation chain. What we do here is we bring the hook into this space here, grab that yarn, and can you see how I'm rotating the hook down? It starts off facing up, and I grab the yarn and rotate it down. This secures the yarn. And then whilst holding on to this bit, I pull it through the loop. That is my first chain. It looks like a V. Then I do the same thing. 2, 3, 4. And as you chain, you might need to move your thumb and third finger up the chain, otherwise it becomes more difficult if it's low down. So as close to the hook as you can. And there we go. And here's your chain. You don't want this chain to be too tight, and the reason for that is once we've finished our chain, your pattern will tell you how many stitches you need in the chain. You can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We don't count the loop on the hook, so there's 11 here. The next thing after the chain is starting to work stitches into the chain. So if these are too tight and you can't fit your hook into them, it becomes really, really difficult. So make sure there's space for a hook to go in quite easily. So there's your foundation chain, okay? And that's a really key skill that you're going to need to learn. So practicing this is one of the best things you can do to get you used to holding the yarn and the hook, and also to get you used to the movements of your wrist and fingers that you need in order to crochet.